Imagine this. You're floating in the vast, endless void of space, with nothing but the cold, silent darkness surrounding you. No sounds, no familiar sights, just an infinite expanse that's impossible to comprehend. It's no wonder that deep space triggers a sense of existential fear in us. But why is that? What is it about the cosmos that makes us feel so small, so insignificant? In this video, we are diving into the heart of that fear, exploring why the final frontier fills us with both awe and dread. Stick around, because understanding this fear might just help us appreciate the beauty of the universe a little bit more. The universe is unfathomably large. It's so big that even the most brilliant minds struggle to grasp its scale. For instance, the observable universe is about 93 billion light-years in diameter. A light-year is the distance light travels in 1 year, roughly 5.88 trillion miles. So, the universe is 93 billion times that distance across. That's a number so large it's nearly impossible to visualize. Human brains evolved to understand and navigate our immediate surroundings. We are good at estimating distances up to a few miles, maybe even a few hundred. But when you start talking about distances in light years, our brains start to glitch. It's like trying to understand infinity, which is a concept that defies human comprehension. This disconnect between what we can understand and what's out there can be deeply unsettling. Consider this. The Milky Way, our home galaxy, is about 100 light-years across. That's just one galaxy among hundreds of billions in the observable universe. And each galaxy contains hundreds of billions of stars, many with their own planets. When you start to wrap your head around these numbers, it's easy to feel incredibly small and insignificant. This feeling can trigger existential fear, a response to the overwhelming vastness of the cosmos. Moreover, the universe is not just vast in space but also in time. It's about 13.8 billion years old. That's a timeline so long that the history of Earth, let alone human history, is a mere blip. This temporal vastness adds another layer to the existential fear triggered by deep space. It's not just that the universe is big, it's that it's been around for an incredibly long time, and it will continue long after we are gone. This perspective can be humbling, even frightening. Space is vast, and it's easy to feel small. The universe doesn't care about human scales. Earth is a tiny speck in the grand scheme. It's hard to grasp the sheer size of space. There are no familiar landmarks out there. No cities, no mountains, no oceans. Just endless void. This absence of familiar markers can make us feel insignificant. It's like being lost in a desert with no compass. The stars are so far away that they appear as tiny points of light. They don't provide any sense of scale or direction. It's easy to feel like a speck of dust in an infinite cosmos. The human brain craves reference points. They help us make sense of the world. On Earth, we have cities, countries, and continents. We have landmarks like the Eiffel Tower or the Great Wall of China. These markers give us a sense of place and belonging. But in deep space, there are no such reference points. The void is uniform and featureless. This lack of familiar markers can be disorienting. It can make us feel like we are floating in an endless, meaningless expanse. The vastness of space can make us feel insignificant. It's hard to feel important when you're just a tiny speck in an infinite universe. The absence of familiar markers can also make us feel alone. On Earth, we are surrounded by other people. We have friends, family, and communities. But in deep space, we are isolated. The nearest human being could be light years away. This isolation can be terrifying. It can make us feel like we are the only ones in the universe. The vastness of space can make us feel like we are adrift in an endless, empty void. It's hard to feel connected to anything when you're so far away from everything. The absence of familiar markers can make us feel like we are lost in the cosmos. It's a feeling of existential dread that can be hard to shake. The vast, uncharted expanses of deep space present a unique set of sensory conditions that can trigger profound existential fear. Among these, the combination of silence and darkness stands out as particularly unsettling. In the void of space, sound cannot travel, creating an absolute silence that is alien to human experience. This silence is not just the absence of noise but a profound, all-encompassing quiet that can feel oppressive. On Earth, even in the quietest places, there is always some ambient sound: wind, distant traffic, the rustling of leaves. In space, there is none of that. The silence is complete, and it can be deeply unsettling. Darkness in space is equally intense. Unlike the darkness on Earth, which is often punctuated by artificial lights or the glow of the moon, space is a void. The darkness is absolute, with no light sources to provide comfort or orientation. This lack of visual cues can disorient and frighten, as humans rely heavily on sight to navigate and understand their environment. In the pitch-black expanse of space, there are no landmarks, no familiar shapes, and no sense of direction. This sensory deprivation can heighten feelings of isolation and vulnerability. The combination of these two sensory conditions, silence and darkness, creates an environment that is fundamentally different from anything humans encounter on Earth. This sensory deprivation can trigger primal fears, as the brain struggles to make sense of an environment that defies its evolutionary programming. In the absence of familiar sensory inputs, the mind can fill the void with anxieties and uncertainties. This is why many people find the idea of deep space so terrifying. The silence and darkness of space challenge our fundamental understanding of the world and our place in it, leaving us feeling small, alone, and profoundly uncertain. The vastness of space is a stark reminder of our place in the universe. It's easy to feel insignificant when looking at images of Earth from millions of miles away. Our planet, with all its life and complexity, appears as a tiny blue dot. This perspective can trigger feelings of existential fear, as it highlights our fragility and the finite nature of our existence. The sheer scale of space makes it clear that we are but a small part of something much larger and more indifferent. This awareness of mortality is not just a philosophical concept. It's a visceral reaction that many people experience when confronted with the realities of space. For instance, astronauts often report feeling a profound shift in perspective after viewing Earth from space. This phenomenon, known as the overview effect, can evoke a sense of awe and vulnerability. It's a reminder that our lives are brief and that the universe does not care about our individual existence. This realization can be unsettling, to say the least. The fragility of human life is further emphasized by the harsh conditions of space. It's a hostile environment where temperatures can plummet to near absolute zero. Radiation levels are dangerously high, and there's no breathable air. Even the smallest miscalculation can be fatal. This stark reality underscores our vulnerability and the precarious nature of our existence. It's a humbling thought that can evoke feelings of existential dread. Moreover, the isolation of space adds to this sense of fragility. Out there, we are alone. There's no one to rely on, no one to save us if something goes wrong. This isolation can be terrifying, as it forces us to confront our own mortality. It's a reminder that, ultimately, we are alone in the universe. This realization can be both liberating and frightening, as it highlights the finite nature of our existence and the importance of making the most of our time here on Earth. The psychological term cosmic insignificance refers to the existential response humans experience when confronted with the vastness of the universe. This concept is well documented in psychology and philosophy, often triggering feelings of awe, anxiety, or even dread. The sheer scale of space can make individuals feel small and insignificant, leading to a crisis of meaning and purpose. This response is not just a philosophical musing but a tangible psychological reaction that has been studied and observed in various contexts. People often encounter this feeling when they view images of distant galaxies or think about the age of the universe. The realization that Earth is a tiny speck in an incomprehensibly large cosmos can be overwhelming. This sense of insignificance can lead to a range of emotional responses, from a profound sense of wonder to a paralyzing fear. Psychologists have noted that this reaction is a natural human response to the unknown and the unknowable. It's a reminder of our limitations and the vastness of existence beyond our immediate understanding. The documented existential response to cosmic insignificance is not uniform. Some individuals may feel a sense of liberation, realizing that their problems are minuscule in the grand scheme of things. Others may experience a deep existential dread, questioning the meaning of their lives in the face of such vastness. This duality highlights the complex nature of human psychology. The response can vary widely depending on personal beliefs, cultural background, and individual temperament. For some, it may be a fleeting moment of reflection, while for others, it can be a profound and lasting experience. Understanding this psychological phenomenon can help individuals cope with the existential fears it triggers. Acknowledging the feeling of cosmic insignificance as a natural response can be the first step in managing it. Engaging in activities that ground oneself in the present moment, such as mindfulness or meditation, can also be beneficial. Additionally, exploring philosophical and spiritual perspectives on the nature of existence can provide a framework for making sense of these feelings. Ultimately, Recognizing that this response is a shared human experience can offer a sense of connection and comfort. The vastness of space has a profound impact on those who venture into it. Astronauts often report significant shifts in their worldview after experiencing the cosmos firsthand. This phenomenon, sometimes referred to as the overview effect, describes a cognitive shift in awareness reported by some astronauts during spaceflight, often while viewing the Earth from orbit or the lunar surface. It refers to the experience of seeing firsthand the reality of the Earth in space, which is immediately understood to be a tiny, fragile ball of life, hanging in the void, shielded and nourished by a paper-thin atmosphere. From space, astronauts see a planet where there are no borders dividing countries and where humanity exists as one. Many astronauts describe feeling a deep sense of interconnectedness with all life on Earth. They often return with a renewed sense of responsibility towards the planet and its inhabitants. For instance, astronaut Edgar Mitchell, who walked on the Moon during the Apollo 14 mission, spoke about feeling a profound connection to the universe and a sense of oneness with all things. This shift in perspective can lead to a greater appreciation for the environment and a desire to protect it. It can also foster a sense of global citizenship, as astronauts often emphasize the importance of cooperation and unity among all people. The experience of space travel can also lead to a re-evaluation of personal values and priorities. Astronauts frequently report a heightened sense of gratitude and a greater appreciation for the simple pleasures of life on Earth. They often speak about the beauty and fragility of our planet, which can evoke a strong emotional response. For example, astronaut Ron Garan described feeling a deep sense of awe and wonder when viewing Earth from space, which he called the orbital perspective. This perspective can lead to a greater sense of humility and a recognition of the insignificance of individual concerns in the grand scheme of the universe. Moreover, the isolation and confinement of space travel can also contribute to philosophical shifts. Astronauts often experience a sense of detachment from the world they left behind, which can lead to a deeper reflection on the nature of existence and the human condition. This introspection can result in a greater sense of purpose and a desire to make a positive impact on the world. For instance, astronaut Scott Kelly, who spent nearly a year on the International Space Station, spoke about the importance of living a meaningful life and the need to cherish the time we have on Earth. The vastness of deep space has long been a source of existential dread, and this fear is deeply rooted in our cultural psyche. Throughout history, the concept of infinity has been both awe-inspiring and terrifying. Ancient philosophers and scholars often grappled with the idea of endless space, seeing it as a reflection of the divine or the unknown. This fear wasn't just philosophical, it was practical. Early astronomers and explorers faced the daunting prospect of navigating an infinite expanse, which was both exhilarating and deeply unsettling. In many cultures, the night sky was seen as a canvas for divine stories and myths. The stars were not just distant suns, but were often believed to be the homes of gods, spirits, or ancestors. This anthropomorphism of the cosmos made the infinite space feel more personal but also more intimidating. For instance, in ancient Greek mythology, the cosmos was seen as a structured, ordered place, but the idea of what lay beyond this ordered sphere was a source of great anxiety. The Greeks believed in the concept of the great beyond, a place that was both infinite and unknowable, which was often depicted as a chaotic and terrifying void. This fear of infinity also manifested in religious and spiritual beliefs. Many religions have grappled with the idea of an endless universe, often interpreting it as a reflection of the divine or the unknown. For example, in Christian theology, the idea of an infinite universe was often seen as a reflection of God's infinite nature. However, this also raised questions about the nature of creation and the limits of human understanding. The fear of the infinite was not just about the physical vastness of space, but also about the spiritual and philosophical implications of an endless cosmos. The cultural fear of infinity has also been reflected in art and literature. From the vast, empty landscapes of romantic paintings to the existential dread in science fiction, the theme of infinite space has been a recurring motif. For example, in H.P. Lovecraft's works, the idea of an infinite and indifferent universe is a source of cosmic horror. This fear is not just about the physical vastness of space, but also about the psychological and emotional impact of confronting the infinite. It's a reminder that, despite our advancements, we are still small and insignificant in the face of the cosmos. The vastness of deep space presents unique challenges to human psychology. Isolation, confinement, and the absence of a natural day-night cycle can lead to significant mental health issues. These factors are not just theoretical concerns. They have been observed in missions as close as the International Space Station, ISS. Astronauts have reported feelings of detachment, anxiety, and even depression. The further humans venture from Earth, the more pronounced these effects could become. This raises serious questions about the long-term mental health of crews on interstellar missions. One of the primary concerns is the lack of immediate support. On Earth, people can seek help from friends, family, or mental health professionals. In deep space, this support system is absent. Communication delays mean that real-time interaction with loved ones or experts is impossible. A message sent to Earth could take hours or even days to reach its destination, depending on the distance. This delay can exacerbate feelings of loneliness and helplessness. Crew members may struggle to cope with personal issues, leading to a decline in mental well-being. The psychological impact of such isolation is a critical factor that must be addressed before embarking on long-duration space missions. Another significant risk is the monotony of the environment. Space is vast and largely featureless. The absence of changing landscapes or natural stimuli can lead to boredom and a sense of disorientation. This monotony can affect cognitive functions, making it difficult for astronauts to focus or make decisions. Studies have shown that prolonged exposure to such environments can lead to a condition known as space madness. Symptoms include irritability, sleep disturbances, and even hallucinations. The risk of such mental health issues increases with the duration of the mission. For interstellar missions, which could last for decades, the potential for long-term mental health problems is a serious concern. To mitigate these risks, space agencies are exploring various strategies. One approach is to design spacecraft with more comfortable and stimulating environments. This includes incorporating natural elements like plants and artificial lighting that mimics Earth's day-night cycle. Another strategy is to provide crew members with access to virtual reality (VR) experiences. VR can offer a sense of escape, allowing astronauts to explore virtual landscapes or connect with loved ones in a more immersive way. Additionally, regular mental health check-ins and counseling sessions can help identify and address issues before they escalate. However, these measures are still in the experimental stages, and their effectiveness over the long term remains to be seen. So, to wrap things up, we've explored how the vastness of deep space can make us feel tiny and insignificant, how the unknown can spark our imagination in both thrilling and terrifying ways, and how the silence and isolation of space can make us question our place in the universe. It's like standing on the edge of a cliff, looking out at an endless ocean. It's beautiful, but it can also make you feel a bit dizzy, right? If you've ever felt that shiver down your spine when looking at a starry night sky, you're not alone. That's your brain trying to make sense of something so vast and mysterious. And hey, that's okay. It's all part of being human. Now, first I'd love to hear from you. Have you ever felt that existential fear when thinking about deep space? What do you find most fascinating or frightening about it? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Let's chat about it. And if you're hungry for more mind-bending topics, stay tuned. Next time, we are diving into the weird and wonderful world of quantum physics. Trust me, it's going to be a trip. Don't forget to like and subscribe so you don't miss out. Until then, keep looking up at the stars and wondering. It's what makes us who we are. See you next time.